What a start to the New Year's it's been for Indian cricket in general. What has happened in the year 2025 has never happened in the history of Indian cricket. That is, an incumbent captain has been left out of the playing 11. There are different words being used: opted out, left out, rested, dropped. You can pick the word that you want. But as I said, this is something that had never happened before. Jasprit Bumrah has come out and spoken about it. Your coach in Gautam Gambhir came on the eve and kind of gave you an hint where this was heading. And finally, that has happened. What happens from now on in terms of Rohit Sharma's future in Test cricket? What happens to Indian team in general? Is it a sign of what was brewing within the Indian team as was being reported? That is something that we'll discuss. And what are the, more importantly, reasons that actually left to this dropping, resting, opting out eventually? With me, Shashwat and Siddharth. Who'd want to... Shashwat?
I'll just begin, yeah. I'm very surprised. To be very honest, I'm shocked to see that Rohit Sharma has been dropped. I actually
But did you not prepare yourself 24 hours or 12 hours before the test match?
I think
that it had appeared everywhere in the media, including your own platform. Had you not prepared yourself? But there was something within you that was telling it will still not happen.
There was something within me that was telling me consistently, despite all the reports and despite all that was, doing
all
the
the credible
rounds.
reports.
Despite all the credible reports for that matter, I personally felt that he should not be dropped. In fact, I felt that I think I basically followed your philosophy. You told me to not look much into the practice sessions. I didn't do that.
Which is
I
true.
was like, if he did not practice, it doesn't mean that he's not going to step out for the toss.
Sure, and that
was
is
the thing.
No. That has happened. There have been players who've not practiced and yet have played. I gave you examples of Sachin Tendulkar sometimes would not practice on the eve of the game. No,
Exactly.
not that. No, it wasn't just based on that. Now, there were many other things that were happening. It wasn't just based on one practice session. Because practice session, a lot of time it's optional. Players don't even come. So I don't think the practice session was a giveaway. Maybe there was a bit of a fanboy in you. Maybe there was a bit of a Rohit Sharma fan which is fair, because you were also of the opinion that he should be opening. You remember, he should come back, on top of the order, get back into form. Maybe you are of the opinion, maybe you're one of those guys who thought, he's that one good knock away. And maybe somewhere back of your mind, you thought that if he is dropped, that could then actually, be the end of his test career. Maybe the fanboy in you was not making you believe.
No, or to be very honest, I'm not really a fanboy. And this is one thing that, I have maintained as long as, I've been a part of this media field, that I am not going to be a fanboy. My job is to be a neutral, to put out perspectives and not really, take any sides that, whether I'm a Rohit Sharma fan or whether I'm an XYZ fan. The point here is that he was not the only one who was out of form. So if you had to leave, if you were basically thinking of leaving him out, which you have done now, there are a couple of other players who actually did not even deserve a place in this India 11. So I think, in a way, I feel that he has been singled out. And as much as I, probably respect the fact that he has stepped up as a leader, he said that he's not performing well and he probably does not deserve a place in the 11. Let, someone else, take his place in the Indian side here. I think that it's harsh. Had the scoreline been 3-0, I would have personally felt that, okay, then, this is probably the right time to look into the future. Let's have Bumrah as the captain. Let's have another batting option in place of Rohit Sharma. You still have a chance of retaining the Border Gavaskar trophy. And even if we do not really want to talk about India's WTC final chances, let's be a little realistic about it. India can still qualify. If you still win the Sydney test, you still have a chance to qualify, because beating Sri Lanka in Sri Lanka on those turning tacks is not going to be an easy thing for Australia. So my point was absolutely clear.
2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where, and Sri Lanka can do it. Sri Lanka have done it in the past. They have beaten the best of the teams.
That's another matter. But I think, you felt that this wasn't the right time to drop him.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay. Were you surprised when this news came?
Yeah, I'll tell you. To begin with, just as far as the reports were concerned, on the basis of the practice session, to begin with, I wasn't able to believe it. But as the day progressed, just a few hours into it, I read a lot of tweets by the journalists who were traveling there. I think it was very evident, very clear with the journalists who have been seeing him all throughout his career, could very specifically see the difference in a Rohit Sharma who would have been playing, or and a Rohit Sharma who now was looking ready to say goodbye. Is it the right call or the wrong call? I think if we just look at as batters, if somebody had to be dropped, the first person had to be Rohit Sharma because of the miserable form. One thing that it was in favor of Virat Kohli was that century that he scored in Perth, and I think that one knock that we were looking from Rohit Sharma, maybe as journalists, as fans, whatever you would like to call that, I think that knock, the difference of that knock was that one Perth century that Virat Kohli got. I think there would have been just a thought in the team, in the sort of the decision making people, that maybe a Rohit Sharma can be dropped because of the form. And I think it was just Rohit Sharma. What I believe is that no other captain would have decided to opt it out, because even if Rohit Sharma would have said that no, I am going to play this test match, I want to play this test match, nobody would have able to stop him, because he's also the skipper. Maybe because he was looking at the greater
Why
cause.
do you say that if he had made up his mind, nobody would have been able to stop him? There are enough evidence to suggest that Gautam Gambhir is that kind of coach that would put his foot down. There is enough evidence to suggest that few other senior players who have reportedly spoken about wanting to be captain, even if they were consulted, they would have probably suggested that. There's a chairman of selectors who I know is if not at Gautam Gambhir level, but he's also one of those no nonsense people. If asked, maybe even he said that if you ask me that you need to step down. So I don't buy that argument that if Rohit had decided that he wants to, you're effectively saying that it is Rohit who's taken this decision. But if he wanted to play, nobody could have stopped him.
I don't think he would have taken the decision. I'm not saying that he would have had that in mind, but because that would have been the majority thought in that deciding factor, I think that is why he would have come on the same page to take that decision.
No, but if he wanted to play,
yeah, he would have played, and I'll tell you why. Because we talk about this factor a lot of times, that the final call goes to the captain, and because he was the captain in this test series, I think he would have wanted that farewell, because anyways, even if he would have gotten that one good knock here or there, I think still it would have been his last test match, this Sydney test match. So anyways, he knew that. He decided to leave on this tangent.
So I want to ask you directly, did he opt out or was he dropped? Why I'm saying that, opt out means he himself has said, dropped is a decision has been taken by collective decision. Has he opted out or is he dropped?
See, I'll say dropped, and I'll tell you why, because in a collective decision, he's also the captain. So I'd say he's dropped, not opted out in that sense, but to be dropped, you need the say of the captain as well. So I think it was in that sense, it was a unanimous decision that was taken, and Rohit was okay with it. If Rohit would not have been okay, things would have been much more uglier. If somehow you would have managed to drop him, it still would have been much more uglier as compared to what we actually how it panned out to be. So I think he was still dropped, and I was a little surprised at why are we so scared about talking about this as a captain, Jasprit Bumrah, using the term dropped, because he said everything around it in as many words, that he has opted out because of form and all of these things, but he's rested. So those things did not connect. I think that's something he should have said.
Opted out or dropped?
Dropped.
It's as simple as that.
Absolutely.
See, I'll tell you why first thing, I feel that Rohit Sharma was part of this decision. So when a Jasprit Bumrah comes and says that Rohit himself decided to, he's used the word rest, I may use a different word, but I have no reasons to doubt what Jasprit Bumrah has said. And I think this was being reported as well earlier, that Rohit Sharma himself would have taken that call. Of course, he would have bounced it off a coach, he would have bounced it off a chairman of selector, and then he would have had his answer. That would have just reinstated his belief of missing out. And I'll put it down. See, on the face of it, I've said it earlier, on the face of it, it looks like a bold decision, right? We started the program by saying, what a big decision that a captain is missing out, because it's never happened in the history of Indian cricket. So it's a big decision that the captain is missing out. But it would have also been an easy decision for Rohit Sharma to take. Why is it an easy decision? Because if he looks himself in the mirror, and you have to just put context to this whole series. He came into this series after the first test match, right? And what happened in the first test match? India won that test match. He takes over the reins. Firstly, it would have been tough doing that. If you remember, there were already noises from the outside. Someone like Sunil Gavaskar had said that if he's not there as captain for the first test match, then let Jasprit Bumrah continue. So that, imagine now, I'm just trying to think from Rohit's point of view, that thought is already there. So it's anyway an uncomfortable situation for you to come, even though you are the designated captain, to take charge of from the second test match. To make matters worse from there, what happens? You lose 2 test matches, you draw 1. So if I'm in Rohit Sharma's place, what do I tell myself? See, without me, the team had won. Now I have come. I've been part of 3 test matches and the results haven't gone in our favor. We barely managed a draw once, lost 2. So that is one reason that I should allow. Secondly, to take Siddharth's point, and he felt that because the series is still online, you can retain the Border Gavaskar trophy, that WTC is on the line. I think that's all the more reason that if you had to make changes to the 11, now I'm not looking at Rohit Sharma, the captain. I'm just looking at the 11. And if I need to put my best foot forward because I can still win this test, qualify for WTC final and retain Border Gavaskar, so plenty to play on, then I have to field my best 11. So how do I field my best 11? By putting the best player. And the third reason, which I think would have nudged Rohit Sharma in taking this decision, I still believe he was the one who took the majority part of this decision, is the fact that it wouldn't have been easy for him in the last test match to drop Shubman Gill, who may not have been in great form in this series, but overall in your calendar year is your second highest run getter. So you are having to drop him. You drop him, you push KL Rahul in the middle order, you've started to open. All these things invited criticism. So if you're Rohit Sharma today, you did all that gamble, you lost that test match. And the way you lost it. After that, if you have to save the series, you have to take a hard call. So when you sit there, what do? Listen, we have to fix the problem. And then what is the problem? If you are honest to yourself, if you're true to yourself, then Rohit Sharma would have identified me being in that 11 is hampering the balance of the team. And I have to go. And I agree with you that he wouldn't have been alone. We had Mr. Gavaskar live with us yesterday where he was asked, I asked him that, what would you do if you were in Rohit Sharma's position? And he said, I was in that position when I was captain where I was either unfit or struggling for form. But I went to the manager of the team and the senior players and asked them, they said, no, you should play. And then that allowed me to play because self-doubt came in. I'm reversing that situation. It would have been a similar situation. Rohit has those doubts. He comes up with a thing that I need to be dropped or I need to sit out. He could have still played, not because he wanted to. Maybe a coach said, no, Rohit, I think you're good enough. You should play. Or the other seniors or the chairman of selectors, whatever, said, no, you should play. When he did not get the answer that he thought he would, and they reinstated his own fears that yes, he is the weakling at the moment, that's when probably I think he took that call that, okay, I'll sit out of this.
Why are we talking about this? Why is this such a big decision? I think the reason for that is because he's the skipper, not because of the batter Rohit, just because of the reason that he's the captain of the side. I think he also realized that I'm not contributing much as a captain as well. There is already a Jasprit Bumrah. He would have also realized that whatever is happening inside the team, maybe that's a very big reason for that is my form as well. So I think he also realized that as a captain, I'm not contributing too much. Jasprit Bumrah, who has won the first game as captain in this series, the only game that the Indian team has won. So he would have realized for the greater cause of the team, when he knows that you could still retain the BGT, I think that's when he would have taken that call. And also nobody else would have sort of, everyone would have been okay with the decision. Maybe there can even be a factor that maybe everyone was thinking about it, but everyone would have been thinking about it that we would talk to him about after this series, not
so
on
who
during
will
the
bear
last
the cat?
Exactly.
Who will take the responsibility?
That was Rohit
And he
Sharma
himself.
himself. Exactly. That's why. I
Okay,
think.
my next question, both of you can answer it. Same scenario, because I gave you that scenario. Let's say the thought did come from Rohit Sharma himself.
Yeah.
If the coach was not Gautam Gambhir, somebody else, hypothetically, let's say Ravi Shastri is the coach. You think Rohit Sharma is skipping this test match?
I think it would have been unlikely. I see again, Ravi Shastri had his own issues in that sense as far as he being the coach was concerned.
My question is, if anybody other than Gautam was the coach and Rohit had similar doubts, would the same decision have been taken?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So you think any other coach would have said no, play this match?
Yeah, because just because he is the skipper, no matter what the runs of his bat were coming, just because he was skipper and the kind of kind of camaraderie a skipper and a coach sort of share, I think it's more about man management, and he would have been given that backing, he would have been given that time, he would have been told that listen, this is just one test match. On the kind of note Rohit Sharma has left now, it would have been completely different if he would have played this test match. Even if he would not have scored runs, you would have won the test match, it would have been 2-2. He would have left on a much different tangent altogether. So he has really given a lot at stake over here, despite realizing that maybe he could have left on a very different tangent at all. There are 10 other things that I think could have made him stop, but for the team, for the cause, I think he was let go now.
I think the management does not matter. Let's say, if Ravi Shastri is the coach,
That was just a hypothetical name. You could go with
anyone is the coach. I think the point is to have those discussions with the player. Where do you see yourself? How you are feeling? What do you think that are you still the best man to lead India or not? I think if these discussions are held and if you see that the player isn't really showing that kind of a confidence, then I think it makes sense to leave him out.
So you mean no matter who the coach would have been,
Absolutely.
Scenario, the result would have been same.
These discussions you have post the series, not in between the series, when the series on
But
the line.
sometimes, Shashwat, because you are also winning the series, you have regular discussion. Like let me hypothetically tell you, like Australia would have had a discussion prior to the Melbourne Test match where they decided to drop a McSweeney and bring a Constance, right? But discussion would have happened. Australia would have had a discussion ahead of this Test match, how to better their chances, and Mitch Marsh needs to go out. So every team will have discussion in the middle of the series as well. And not long term. And I agree. Yeah, but long term decision hasn't happened. Rohit Sharma, that is why has not. See, we may discuss whether he's played this last game or not. He's not announced his retirement. So no long term decision has been taken. I think this is still a short term decision of what your best 11 is. And that decision was taken. And those decisions are taken in the middle of the series. But to the question of whether somebody else had been coach and Rohit would have been left out or not, even though he may have come up with this idea, I feel that if it was anybody other than Gautam Gambhir, Rohit Sharma would have been playing this test match. And that's not to say that Gautam is responsible for him. As I said, I think, as Bumrah also said, I believe in that this thought came from within Rohit Sharma. But why I think if, let's say, that's what I'm saying, let's say there was, hypothetical example, as I said, Ravi Shastri. Let's say Rohit goes to a Ravi Shastri saying, I mean, typically a Ravi Shastri would say, come on, Tiger, you're the guy. Yeah. Come on, you can give it one more shot. Let's win this and then we'll discuss about what is going to happen. Yeah. That's the kind of man manager is. A good chance he would have pushed him. And then when you hear that from somebody, you think, maybe he's showing me faith. I'm down and out in terms of my confidence. I feel I'm the weak link. But I've got this vote of approval from my coach. Okay, let me give it one more shot. Maybe I'll come good and save the thing. And I think that's what he went with previous test match. Because everything is building against you, as I explained earlier.
Even Rahul Dravid, for that matter, I think any coach, everyone would have had their own ways to sort of give that positivity. Rahul Dravid would have been much more softer, much more calmer in that sense. Ravi Shastri would have been much more hyping him up. But I think both of them would have had the same notion. But Gautam Gambhir, I think on the other hand, would not have had that positive approach towards this decision.
No. So I'm not saying that it's positive or negative. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not. When I say that if there was anybody else other than Gautam Gambhir, I felt Rohit would have been playing. And because it's Gautam Gambhir, he's not playing, which is to say he would have definitely played a role as a coach. But I don't necessarily mean it in a bad way. I'll tell you why I say that. So you got to understand Gautam's personality. Again, I know there will be reports that there's animosity, there is, issue between them. But why I say Gautam would have, because it's Gautam, he's not playing. Because if Gautam was the captain himself, instead of Rohit Sharma's position, he himself would have asked this question to Gautam Gambhir saying, are you the person because of which we are losing? And the same Gautam Gambhir, the man within him, would have answered, yes, you are, drop yourself. Because, just to remind you, Gautam Gambhir, in the IPL, it was Delhi Daredevils at the time. He was the captain. He had a string of low scores. He dropped himself. Shreyas Iyer was made the captain.
He just dropped himself from captaincy. He never.
That's what I'm. No, from the 11.
No,
also.
no. He after that, that's what I'm telling you. After that, after he was dropped, he was very categorically asked that did you drop yourself from the 11? He said no. I was always available to play in the 11. I just dropped myself from captaincy because I wanted to give the next captain.
So it's
a
the
fair
same
run.
thing. What you're saying is a question of semantics. It's the same thing. It takes a big effort for a guy who took that call at that time saying I will not be captain. I don't, because he knew that the only reason he was making it to the 11 is because he was captain. In Rohit Sharma's case, he couldn't have dropped himself as a captain in the middle of the series. No, as soon as he dropped himself from captain, then he's being honest to himself that now pick the 11, and if I'm not good enough to be 11, drop me. So my point is that what you're mentioning is semantics, that he said captaincy not. So what I'm trying to say is that if Gautam Gambhir was the captain, test captain right now, there's a good chance that Gautam Gambhir would have dropped himself, is my point. So, which is why I said that when a Rohit Sharma would have gone to a Gautam Gambhir to expressing this, if it had been any other coach, as I said, they usually would have backed it, go. But Gautam Gambhir, his personality is such, he cannot be diplomatic. He, on occasions, I've interviewed him multiple times, he can, even if it means offending someone, he will say what he feels is right. There will be no filter, which works in his favor a lot of time. It backfires a lot of time, which is why he was the one guy, he gets a lot of hate for MS Dhoni bit. That's a thing that a lot of people mutter under their breath anyway, but nobody will say it openly for the fear of offending someone. He's gone on to give high praise of MS Dhoni, the captain, as well, multiple times. But on that occasion, he felt that it was wrong, that, the team did not give credit. And he makes a valid point. That's what my point is, that because here you have a coach who never minces his words, who's, honest, sometimes brutally honest for his own good.
Yeah.
And so he goes to a coach saying that, listen, I think I'm the weakling. Should I be dropped? And he would have said, yeah, you're right. You should be. But all I'm saying is that Gautam doesn't have any personal issue that he would have said it to a Rohit Sharma. He would have said it to his own younger self if he had come to him. He probably would have said it to X, Y, Z or MS Dhoni also if he was the coach and Dhoni came up to him at that time and asked him. And if Gautam was coach, he would have told him, or for that matter, any person. So I think, that personality of the coach that he has is one of the major reasons why that decision was taken, and Rohit Sharma also said that. Anybody else? The only parallel that comes to my mind, and it is going back, and we can talk about what the future holds, and whether this, thing is this attitude of being blunt and straightforward, or should you be a bit more diplomatic as a coach? I think you should be, and sometimes this can be detrimental. It takes me back to the Greg Chappell time. And I'll tell you why, because I covered Indian cricket and all the happenings that was happening, around me. See, where did the unrest started coming? Because Greg Chappell was brutally honest. He thought that, cricket was changing and Sachin at that time needed to come in the middle order. You needed a more explosive opener. But the thing is, those things were never said in Indian cricket. Who would have the courage to tell, because Sachin is such a great, to do that? But remember, he came from an Australian mentality where there was no cult of players. No, I think you should be here, you should be. He did all those things. Today, a lot of those steps that he was taking then, people are saying are right. But the thing is, he came into a different culture of dressing room. He wanted to take those calls where he was going to shuffle a lot of senior players. That created insecurity. That created an environment where it wasn't good. But I'm not saying that Greg Chappell didn't have the best interest of the team in mind. But the way he went about doing those things in the cultural setup of Indian cricket caused rift, caused insecurity, caused an atmosphere which brought Indian cricket down. Why? Because he was again a similar sort of a person. Call a spade a spade. This is what it needs to be done. He was the one who told Saurav Ganguly, same, I'm just saying, same scenario.
Yeah.
That, who should make way? He said, well, Saurav, you asked me, you. And that would come as a shock to any captain. He's telling me to make Indian team better. I, the captain, have to sit out. It was tough for Indian cricket to adjust. He is pointing out that Sachin Tendulkar was being the greatest opener, thought he had outlived his utility, now come in the middle. It created that confusion, but his intention was right. My point is that I don't doubt Gautam Gambhir's intention. He's always been a team man. He's always put the country first. But the thing is that sometimes being this blunt, sometimes being this honest, sometimes being this upfront causes issues that causes insecurity. Maybe we as a country are like that. We do get insecure when, you know, somebody says, then you look at it, oh, this is, he was blunt to Shashwat, oh, what's going to happen to me? He was blunt to him. He, you know, Siddharth has been doing this for 15 years and this new person has come and told him, I have to just started doing for 5 years. मेरे को तो कुछ भी नहीं गिनेगा ये. So I become insecure. So, you know, so that is what causes confusion, insecurities, and I think that is what is happening right now.
I think Gambhir, too, as a personality, like you put it out, I think he's exactly like that. But then why all these reports and all of these things to protect himself in that sense? I'm not saying that it was leaked from him, but see, again, there are 45 to 49 people, I don't know the exact number, that are there with this Indian team during the Gavaskar. It could be anybody. But if we just look at the report that actually came out, who does it actually support the most in that sense? I think the only person who would have come out clean from that was Gautam Gambhir. So if he's so upfront and if that's how he sort of deals with things, then he should be doing that exactly when he came out for the press conference yesterday. He should have been the same Gautam Gambhir who he is inside the dressing room. Then doing this outside just to clear your image, I think that is something that I've never seen from Gautam Gambhir. And if it's going to, again, if he's upfront and blunt, that's okay. That is your personality. You move ahead. If that's going to help the team or not, that's a different thing. But then don't mix both the negative things of, you know, being upfront and blunt inside and then clearing your image outside. You know, sort of you're not the one who's at risk after that.
So you tell me, there was a similar report after the New Zealand series where it was told that the coach is under scanner. He's been put to notice. He's been told that who did that report favor?
That report also favored. That reporter did not favor anyone, because according to that report,
it
was a 6-hour meeting in which even the captain was included.
Yes. So, but what did the report? Who did? Clear. If you have a clear-cut answer as to which report favored here, then I think you should revisit that report and read it. After that, New Zealand, it was the difference is like day and night, black and white. That report favored the players and the captain, and not the coach. That actually threw the coach under the bus. That everything happened during the New Zealand series was because of the coach, because he's messed up the team. He has no experience as a test coach. He does not understand how, you know, pitches. He's taking wrong calls in selections. So everything was down to the players did nothing wrong. The coach was wrong. My point is this. If there was a report after the New Zealand series that told us that everything was wrong with the coach, so who is responsible for that?
See, again,
it couldn't have been the coach.
Yeah, it would have come. I'm saying even if it would have come from the Rohit Sharma side.
I don't know.
No, I'm saying because his just the logic I'm using for Gautam Gambhir.
No, there's no logic. I'm saying that there was one series happened and that told us everything is wrong with the coach. Now, exact 180-degree switch, and we are being told that nothing wrong with the coach. Coach is the one who's put his foot down. The players aren't listening. They have personal ambitions. They have this. So my point is, all of this you should take with a pinch of salt. Okay. But we must get to the crux of the matter. It doesn't matter who. See, firstly, I must also say that I do not like the word leaked. Okay. Yeah. A lot of you fan clubs are going after the journalists and stuff like that with leaks. It's not leaked. That's the job of the journalist. Whoever has written it, he's put his name on the line. And, you know, that requires a lot of courage. He's passing on information to the stakeholders of Indian cricket, and that includes the fans. If you're not interested in knowing the truth, don't read it. But do not run these fan clubs by saying this is being done to, make this person look good or that person look good or that person bad, whatever. The story is a story. He's standing by the story. Let me hear anyone come out and deny it, that this didn't happen or this one isn't. The story of Rohit Sharma not playing this test match was also a story till 18 hours ago. Now it's true. So instead of calling it leaks, this is what is reportage. If someone is in the know of thing, got to know something, he wrote about it, he put his neck on the line. And now there's not just one people, there are multiple people who are on ground at that covering, and they've all written about it. Yes, I will agree to the fact that when things go south, then stories emerge. And it's not that Indian dressing room has always been one big happy family. It's just that when you keep winning, nobody is interested in knowing what is happening. Now I'm hearing stories about, they don't go for dinner together, 7 people went here, there. But that's always been the case.
Yeah.
When was the last time everyone was going for dinner? Those days are long gone. They still go in groups. I mean, truth be told, they were even traveling differently. We knew that, players are traveling separately. Some are even taking chartered flights, this and that. When they are traveling together, forget about celebrating. So this has happened long ago. It's nothing new. Somebody is hanging out in some shop and eating in a restaurant, or somebody is in the other restaurant. That's been happening. It's just that when you're losing, this makes for interesting reading.
No,
when
and
you're
also
winning, nobody wrote.
And the person they are sort of connecting the journalist with, who would have leaked the story, the whole thing, Rohit Sharma for that matter, there is nothing for Rohit Sharma in that report, I feel. Everything is against Rohit Sharma in that sense, in that report.
That's why I'm saying, why do we attribute close connections, or this is to answer your question, that someone has done it to paint one in, paint a rosy picture about one person and throw the other person under the bus. Why should I? If I have an information, I have an information. And it's our job to put that information out, right? It does not matter if it suits my narrative. It does not matter if it proves what I said wrong. Maybe I had been saying for a long time that so-and-so player will not get selected for a big tournament. I may keep saying it. If I get to know that he has been selected, then it's my job to report, na? Is it not? Whether I like it or not.
No, but on such when there are so difficult times in the dressing room, just getting to the next thing, don't you think it's the job of the senior players to actually go and sort of fix it rather than being Mr. Fix It?
So Mr. Fix It means fix it only, na? Where's the contradiction?
Contradiction is that they should try to fix the rifts and sort of take Indian cricket forward, not try to be the Mr. Fix It in quote unquote.
So who is not taking? Tell me who is not taking Indian cricket forward?
No. I'm saying according to the report, there is some senior player who feels that the youngsters do not have it in them to take over the reins right now of captaincy, and Jasprit Bumrah is not a viable option because he's not available for all the test matches. So he should be the captain according to him.
So my point is, okay, even if it's a senior player who has captaincy ambition and has been captain before, I think that's what you're hinting at. So what is wrong with that? Today, every person in that dressing room has captaincy ambitions, no?
Yeah.
So should I say, let's say Rishabh Pant has captaincy. Should I say, अरे पहले इस series में run तो बना ले? Then think, should I say no? If he is fit enough and he has ambitions, he should. Mohammad Shami till some time back also had captaincy ambitions.
No, having captaincy ambitions isn't wrong, but to use all the negative things going on in the dressing room to your advantage so that ambition is fulfilled, that is wrong according to me. Having ambitions is absolutely not wrong, but to even the two youngsters that were mentioned in that report, I think even that is wrong.
Any report, I know
that Indian cricket is down and out.
Any reports for us to know who wants to be captain. Everyone is the captain, no? And I think that is the problem, by the way. And this is the problem in KL Rahul. You made him captain. He's also a captaincy contender, no? Then you had Shubman Gill, who was touted as the next captain. Everyone started talking about him. Rishabh Pant is the new captain. Jasprit Bumrah is already vice captain, right? Till some time ago, there was, Ashwin also captain. Virat Kohli is a former captain. So there are so many captaincy contenders. Everyone wants to be captain. As soon as you see that slot is open now, anyone can throw their hat into the ring. This will happen. That is the problem of Indian cricket not having a succession plan. And can I be honest? This whole thing started from that mess that was created when Virat Kohli was captain. What played out at that time? A lot of people made hay while the sun was shining that time as well. Nobody thought of Indian cricket at that time. I think it was a big mistake to let Virat Kohli go as captain. But you created an atmosphere was created that he has to be removed. What happened at that time?
Test captaincy was his own call.
But the atmosphere was created in a way.
No, but the basis of white ball cricket, I think it was time that you needed a change in white ball cricket.
No, I'll just tell you, in white ball cricket also, he was told that, such and such trophies are not coming or whatever, and so he decided to skip one form of that. Okay, test cricket, because that atmosphere became like that, he eventually said, okay, I don't want to be test captain. He didn't want to let go of the test captaincy. He definitely did not.
He didn't even want to let go of the ODI captaincy.
Well, that's right.
No, but see, again, in Indian cricket we know you cannot have three captains.
Why? No. You are having captains now.
Now because you're in a transition stage. At that time you had a Rohit Sharma.
It cannot be that, you were
okay to have two different captains for white ball itself.
No,
But that's what he wanted.
No. That was secondary. That's what I'm trying to say. That was secondary. The whole captaincy talk started like that. That we need to look at another captain in T20 cricket to begin with. I don't think it was, a decision that he would have taken.
No, but I think that talk was absolutely fine because you weren't getting the results from captaincy in that sense.
So that is exactly what my point is. No, so it started. It wasn't his own call. No, he didn't wake up one day and said that I don't want to be captain. That I don't want to be. Somebody else initiated. That's exactly what my point is. Eventually leading him to a position where he said, I don't want test captaincy. Please don't tell me that it was, a hunky-dory environment and people did not make full use of that situation. People did. And if everyone cared for Indian cricket at that time, also people would have stepped up and backed him, saying that, no, he's still the best test captain. He should not go. Nobody backed him.
No, but because things did not. I'm not good. I'm not debating in was it right at that point or not for him. How things panned out for him. But if it was wrong then I don't think the same situation should be taken advantage of again. Especially when you yourself.
You raised that point. That why should not everyone make sure that such situation is should be rectified. My point is it's very easy for you now to expect everyone to play ambassador. What do you call? One great ambassador of Indian cricket and be like one saint that I will take, I've achieved nirvana and I will take everyone together. That doesn't happen. That does not happen. Everyone is waiting for the opportunity as they were waiting earlier as well. My point is that this, idealistic sort of a expectation that you have from some of our cricketers. Also, it was nicely put by one former cricketer earlier that why when this question about role model cricketers have to be role models. He said why do you expect cricketers to be role models? They are as flawed as you and I. Just because they can hit the ball better than an average person does not make them far more sensible or more evolved people. As humans, they have their own fallities, and as humans, they have their own issues. So they are also going to be like us. So don't expect because somebody is senior or has been playing for so long, and that's not just limited to one player. Every player in that situation. Cummins looks like a very calm cricketer at the moment. They also had a full rebellion against Justin Langer. The Australian team also got up. So all humans, everyone uses that opportunity. A lot of senior players that you think should step up, and if
something makes a great player different from the others, I think these are just little things.
Yeah, no. If someone makes a person a great player, is how good he hits his cover drive, how good he is leaving the ball outside the off stump. You all judge them basis on that. Nobody judges them that what a nice saint he was, that he used to order food and share it with everyone. And then he ensured nobody is dying of hunger on the streets. You don't judge players because of that.
We call Sachin Tendulkar the ambassador of the game even after so many years after he's retired. It's not just because of his game, right?
There are other things. So, and let's take Virat Kohli for example. You may not like his guts, but so Virat is great because of the player that he is. But a lot of other people also sing praises about his never say die attitude, his in-your-face aggression, his love for that. I just saw visual Prime Minister's meeting everyone is saying hello. With Virat, he stopped, showed him the phone, one selfie, separate selfie he's taking now. Even that Prime Minister is a fan. So that cannot be just the way he is, na? Or he feeds the hungry, or he does some charity work. It is because of the player that you are. Eventually, that's my point. Eventually, as a player, how good or bad you are judged by what you did on the field. Nobody don't.
Especially when you know in a situation when you're yourself
the
places not.
greatest cricketer of all time, Sir Don Bradman, is the greatest cricketer of all time because of his 99.9 average. Correct. 99.94. People who knew Sir Don, he was the most reclusive, very individualistic sort of a person. You can read books, you can find that out. That still makes him the greatest of all time. GOAT. So please, that's what I'm trying to say. This idealistic thing you have now, senior players will now sit and they will say, "Nahi, meri team ke saath galat ho raha hai."
Then why have you
Nobody has done it previously. Nobody will do it.
Then why have you dropped Rohit Sharma on the basis of 3 bad months and not Virat Kohli on the basis of 4 bad years?
Excuse me. I think Sanjay Manjrekar summed it best when he did today. A lot of people may not like him. He summed it up
Virat Kohli
very
has done
well.
more.
He said that what is the big fuss about dropping Rohit Sharma. He's played 60 odd test matches. He's not a legend of the format. So I cannot understand what the fuss is. He said, and here's a guy who keeps criticizing Virat Kohli, by the way, and I like the way he put things into it. He said if you had dropped a Virat Kohli, that should be headlineable because he's a certified legend of red ball cricket. What is the fuss about everyone going thing? Because 60 test matches is not a legend of the format. No. So let's let's compare apples with apples and not apples with oranges. Just to put it into perspective. I also feel, as I said, it's a big decision, it's a big call to have dropped your captain. But now when you go compare with, what is, I also feel, can I be honest? I also feel that a call on Virat Kohli also needs to be taken. Then 100%. Correct. But it cannot be at the moment where you're sitting and judging both players by the same yardstick. That if he was dropped, no. Because Virat is a certified legend of the format, he will get a longer row, but that's not to say that he can escape any kind of scrutiny. But we have been scrutinizing him here non-stop, right? And there will be a call taken. For all you know, that call could be taken after this test match as well. Who knows, right? They may look into it saying that, listen, it's a new cycle coming up. We need to start afresh. How do you see him go in the future? I don't know. And that's a call that the selectors will take. Fair enough. But I'm saying in the interim, if an immediate call was to be taken, I think that's the call.
I absolutely get that, and that's how I even started. I think first person, if somebody had to get dropped off this lineup, it was Rohit Sharma, not Virat Kohli. But then when you are at such a spot in your career where you know that you are next in line, because after this, if this is how we are going to drop players and this is how the transition is going to be, then I think next in line is Virat Kohli, who should be dropped if he doesn't get runs in this test match. Sure. Would you want to take him into England? Even if you want to take him to England, would he be a certainty for all the test matches? No. But then having the ambition of captaincy, and not just having the ambition of captaincy, trying to go for it, that extra yard, trying to utilize the situation that the Indian cricket is under transition. This is where I can utilize. I can sort of come in.
My point is, what is the again?
No, because captaincy assures him another couple of years, no matter what the form is.
What is a harm in any person wanting for? That's a decision for Indian cricket to take, whether he's fit or not. My point is, since when is having personal ambitions, and everyone has had it, at other people's expense, it's not the first time. When is that unusual? When is that unusual? Forget in Indian cricket, in any walk of life. When is it unusual? Whether they think he's fit enough to be getting or not is a call that I think they are capable. Again, we spoke about the blunt nature of Gautam Gambhir. For all you know, I feel, and I know there are a lot of debate about that now he's getting close to Virat, so he will fail. May not be. Knowing him, he probably would take that same harsh call with Virat as well. Who knows? How do you know what the chairman of selectors would be okay with it? He may not think that that's the right thing. I may say, no, we need to go. You anyway had your answer where the interim for the moment when Rohit is dropped, it's just with Bumrah who's captain. Yeah. So how do you know that will happen? No. But that does not stop. That does not stop for the decision for the person who's aspiring to be, to throw his hat into the ring.
I think throw his hat into that. I absolutely get that. I think what you are also pointing at is that when Virat was down and out, it was Rohit Sharma who would have wanted to. No, I'm not saying he would have done anything. I am
saying nobody at that time also said, no, forget this. There were senior players around that time also, who said, no, I will speak to Virat and I will ensure that he does not give up captain. Did anyone think like that? No. Which is fair. They said, okay, it's his issue. Even how deal with the BCCI will deal with it.
No, at that point, firstly, you were not getting results as captaincy from Virat in white ball cricket, and there was somebody who was pushing him out. Here, even if you're not getting results from a Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli is still not pushing him out of captaincy, because Virat Kohli himself has had an average of 24. Now you're going into the
captaincy. You are talking about, you just accepted it's okay to have personal ambitions, right? But you're talking about being this great ambassador of the sport. You expect Virat to be that great ambassador, to set everything right now and say, nahi. You tell me who were the great ambassadors before when he was being kicked out. You're talking about being an ambassador, being this big brother to the Indian team that I will.
Don't be that, but it's not like Virat is at this point averaging 50 in the whole year.
That call the Indian cricket will take.
I think
that call Indian cricket will take. You have to set what you're asking for. You want him to be a ambassador, you're saying no, you don't want him to be an ambassador. If you don't want him to be an ambassador, then why are you expecting him to fix things?
No, but
like
I expect
if
him to
he's
be the
going
kind of legend he is, the kind of whatever he has given to the game, everything, at least be a little reasonable, is all I want. I'm not saying he should be an ambassador.
His ambitions, yeah. There are so many people who want to be captain, you know. There's so many people who were asking for stakes in IPL teams to be captain. You never, so, you know,
but then so everyone will run after each other for captaincy. That's how Indian cricket will end, the last man standing.
That is what is happening, my friend. Please tell me who is it that, as I said, who has reached nirvana and who's thinking about how to set everything in order.
But it's still not
People
justified,
need to
na?
fix their own thing. No, my point, exactly. So all I'm saying is that they should have been precedent in the past. When he was going through that bad phase, or Indian cricket was going through a bad phase, there were no ambassadors that time as well. So why should he now become an ambassador? Everyone is on the lookout for themselves, as is now very evident. You need to save your own position, whichever way you can find a way. That's not to say that Indian cricket is hostage as to whatever is the demands are, they will fulfill it. No, but it's their right to ask for.
Then in that case, Rohit Sharma, the moment he came into the side, should have come to the opening spot, should have played this test match, and sort of tried to keep captaincy with him moving ahead as well. Because after this, no. Now if you win this test match, there will be questions on Rohit, the white ball captain as well. Maybe he knows that he has the ambition of playing the 2027 ODI World Cup, but maybe that will get hampered now because of the kind of performance you've had in test.
I think
No, but somebody needs to have that. Rohit did stand up for the team. See, somewhat or the other, he did. Be it giving his opening spot at the beginning or leaving the final test match. He could have absolutely left test cricket on a different high altogether if he played this game and won it.
Yeah, but as I said, that decision wasn't left to him alone. Is my point.
No.
Yes.
No, but if he would have wanted to, we know that he
No,
will
I just
have.
answered that question right at the start. Maybe not.
You're saying he would have wanted to play and everyone would have said, no, don't.
No, exactly my point. You're saying that if he put his foot down and he wants to play this test match, he would have been guaranteed. I am not sure, my friend. Nobody has that sort of power within the BCCI right now. And as I said, there were so many things leading up to this. There's so many things leading up to it, which is what would have, it's good on him to have taken a call, but there have been captains in the past who've also taken such calls. There have been plenty of captains that have done this, sacrificed their position, moved their own batting order up and down. It has happened multiple times. See, the thing is, Rohit also gave himself the best chance of succeeding in the previous test match. He wasn't doing well in the lower order. He pushed himself back to open, disrupting the team's combination. That didn't work out. Had that worked out, this whole talk wouldn't have happened. It didn't work out. That's a gamble that he played. It didn't work out. So now left with no option but to take this call. How can anyone, be allowed to just continue with that? And it was a big call at that time. It was a very big call for Rohit Sharma in the previous test match to go back to opening despite his struggles in the middle order, where everyone pointed out that he's not doing well here. How can he go? You dropped a Shubman Gill out as well for that. And you pushed a KL Rahul from the position that he was opening. And it wouldn't have been easy. That's why it has led to him taking a call like that.
That was also wrong, but you never know how big a say would have had in the whole decision. Not in the Shubman Gill dropping, but the whole team combination to begin with. I don't think that how it's being portrayed that Gautam Gambhir did not have even one say to begin with. I'm not ready to buy that at all. Because just a few months back, it was the senior players who did not want to play the Sri Lanka ODI series. It was Gautam Gambhir who called them. He wanted them to play that one.
Chairman of selectors as well.
No, but Gautam Gambhir as well. So he cannot now, this cannot be said that nothing, whatever he wanted, sort of did not go as per his plan. Not just that, Nitish Reddy, Harshit Rana, as soon as Nitish Reddy scored that century, there were reports that it was Gautam Gambhir who pushed for him to play. So now how suddenly once things have not gone your way, you sort of want to say that I have been sitting on the backseat and I will be taking the calls. From now, till now I was just sitting and standing. The night watchman is asking you and going, you are saying that nobody is listening to me since 6 months.
You are free not to believe that. Even I don't believe that. That now he would have been having a say. Just as we mentioned that Gautam Gambhir all this while is a strong personality, he wouldn't have taken a back seat. That's why I don't believe it that it's only now that he started taking calls. He's been taking calls previously as well. If you've won, you've lost. It's a blame that both will have to share, whether it's the captain or absolutely.
I think what Rohit Sharma missed was a certain Gary Kirsten. let's just go back to 2010, and this is something that I had been like, wanting to say. When Gautam Gambhir was going through a really lean patch in 2010, he himself went to Gary Kirsten, who was the then head coach of the Indian cricket team, that I basically want that, you should drop me from the team. I should go back to domestic cricket, perform, and then see, if I can make a return or not. That's when Gary Kirsten just told him, just play the next match for my sake. Just play the next match for the team's sake. He played, didn't really get those many runs, but then went on to captain India in the 5-match ODI series against New Zealand that India basically won 5-0 under his captaincy, for that matter. I think if in this case Rohit Sharma has gone to Gautam Gambhir as the head coach, and Gambhir, rather than just telling him that, okay, you're not fit to be a part of this 11, I think you should probably drop yourself so that there is space created for a youngster to come in, or maybe for Shubman Gill for that matter. I think Gautam Gambhir in this case, assuming that he has been a contributing factor to Rohit Sharma's axing from this match, I think Gautam Gambhir could have probably played the role that Gary Kirsten played with him in 2010.
A different personality now. That's why I said that had there been any other coach and Rohit Sharma went with not 100% or unsure about whether he should play or not and whether he should be dropped, I think he would have got the nudge from the coach saying that he should sit out. But maybe that's what we discussed earlier. Maybe a Gary Kirsten would have had a different approach.
Exactly.
Maybe Ravi Shastri would have had a different approach. Maybe Rahul Dravid would have had a different approach. I don't know. But it's different people and how they deal with it differently. Now you've gone to a person who's known to just, call spade a spade. And I think he did it in this case. Anyway, I'd love to know, what do you feel does the future hold for Rohit Sharma, the test cricketer? He's not announced his retirement as yet.
Just before we reach there, about Gautam Gambhir, if that's how rigid he's going to be as an Indian coach, then definitely I was never wrong in saying since the beginning that he needs a captain who's second fiddle, not the person who sort of plays on the front foot and is the main figure of the team.
Who will be that captain?
Then Jasprit Bumrah is the perfect
I don't think Jasprit Bumrah will be the
next.
No.
By second fiddle, what I mean to say is it's not like that they do not have too much to say or they do not have too many inputs. I just feel it's about coming to a common consensus and not being as rigid as Gautam Gambhir. I think Rohit Sharma would have been that by the end of it. To begin with, even he would have come on many sort of consensus where both of them reached the middle ground, be it playing Nitish Reddy, be it getting Harshit Rana, be it coming and playing the ODI series out of rest, or now maybe it would have been the end of that, and that's why all of these things now have come up. But I think all of this would have been going on since a very long time, and with a Jasprit Bumrah, he's somebody who's much more adjustable. He's somebody who can adjust to the situation. He's much more calmer, a very different way to deal with.
How do you know that Gautam Gambhir has a long rope as coach?
No, he doesn't.
So then why instead
if you
of
lose the
thinking-
BGT
then
3-1,
that's not how you
then
could
his
have been
position
as
is
Indian
also
coach.
going to be under scanner.
Yeah, so no,
It's as simple as that.
You were thinking of a coach that suits Gautam Gambhir. Maybe
Captain,
you can have a captain who can suit Gautam Gambhir. Maybe you may think of a coach who can suit the captain that you have going forward. Who
I
knows?
think
That's how it should be.
I think I have a feeling that
that may happen. How do you know?
I have a feeling that Virat Kohli will return as India's test captain, and I'll tell you why. See, as much as we can place our faith in the fact that Jasprit Bumrah is now fit enough to play for India for a long time, 3 to 4 years without getting injured, I don't really think that's really going to happen, because if Bumrah is to play across formats, and even if he has to play in all those home test matches also, on those dust bowls that India might just have in the next couple of years or so in this WTC cycle, I don't think that you're basically elongating Bumrah's career as far as all formats are concerned. In order for India to make sure that Bumrah plays for a long time, and by long time I mean for the next 5-6 years, you need a different captain. With Bumrah as a captain, I feel that you are always risking him with an injury. So that's where I don't really think that India are ready for life after Rohit Sharma the captain. It's as simple as that. You need someone who can just play the role of Anil Kumble like he did in 2007 and 2008. And after that, you had MS Dhoni as the next test captain for the next few years or so. You need someone who can be a stopgap solution for you, and I feel that there is no one in this current Indian team who is better than Virat Kohli.
No, why Virat Kohli? By reason I really want
Just
to know.
gave 4 reasons.
No, but there is no. But he's place in the team next in line to be dropped from this team is clearly Virat Kohli.
I don't deny that.
I think if I'm the selector after seeing you've dropped Rohit Sharma, now you've started to take those big calls, Ashwin is gone, I would just give Virat Kohli another couple of innings after this. Even if I'm taking him to England, I'm not 100% certain that he's going to play all the 5 test matches, and you are telling me to make him the captain for two more years.
Okay, Gill is not showing any confidence.
Because we see again, if
let me finish. Gill is not showing any confidence. Pant has been found out in this Australian series, and England bowlers are going to keep keen eye on how his dismissals have been in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. So has been the case with let's say Ravindra Jadeja has always been around the leadership group, but whether you are looking at him as a test cricketer for the next few years or so, I'm not really sure about it. Then Yashasvi Jaiswal is still very young. KL Rahul, highly inconsistent. Even if he gets a 50 in the second innings of the SCG test, there's still going to be question marks whether he's going to be part of the England tour or not. So the point here is, if there's anyone who can be that stopgap solution for you for a year or a year and a half, there is no one who is better than Virat Kohli. Had R. Ashwin not announced his retirement, things could have been completely different. But now you don't have anyone who is ready, unless you want Jasprit Bumrah to be that stopgap solution until both Rishabh Pant and Shubman Gill are ready.
Gulati sir, if your car is burning, will you jump out of the car first, or will you think that what will I do when I don't have a car?
I get what you are saying. I'm completely
Then
on
you
page
will
with you.
not, yeah.
But do you have an option?
No, I will not make Virat Kohli because I am not certain about if he's going to be in the playing 11 or not to move ahead. I'm going to then give it to Rishabh Pant. At least he's somebody who's a certainty to play in the longer run. It's just this one series when he's not scored runs. Going into this series, he was the greatest match winner for India in Test cricket. He's even till now. It's just because he's not gotten runs, and the way he's gotten out, I think why people are not talking about him as much as they should be about captaincy. But he's much better an option than Virat Kohli at this point, just because of the reason that now I'm looking at a transition. In a transition, you're not going to go backwards, you're going to go ahead.
I'd have to disagree with Siddharth. At the moment, with the form that Virat Kohli is showing, I'm not going back to Virat as captain. I think Virat the captain has a lot to offer, provided Virat the batter is firing. And I don't again want to be in a situation that I am right now, in which case your captain has had to drop himself out of the 11. So you need to select your 11 first, your best 11 players, and then select your captain. And right now, Virat's not showing that kind of form with the bat. Had it been showing that form, then I would have said it's a good idea to go back. For now, I'm not even sure of any youngster because I don't know what's going to happen. It's anyway a lot of distrust and unrest within the team. I make somebody a captain, and then this has started for some time now where everyone started having a captaincy ambition. So I'm not going to ruffle any feathers. I want stability. I'll continue with Jasprit Bumrah. I will continue with him. He's done a good job winning that test match. He's captaining now as well. We'll take it. If it's even an interim solution for a year, 2 year, whatever, I'll stick with him because at least he's guaranteed a spot. How I manage his workload is another thing. He has been playing now continuously. Cummins has found a way to balance it out. Maybe few series he sits out, and a youngster goes and captains there, like Cummins is going to be sitting out of the Sri Lanka series, whatever, like that. But right now, I don't see a youngster who's really putting his hand up, who I need to give it to, and neither am I seeing anybody else. So Jasprit Bumrah should continue.
The only thing that I don't agree with sir over here is that I personally feel that captaincy in itself is a very specialized role, and I'm okay with giving captaincy to a batter who might not be making it to the 11. It's not a vast difference, but might just not be making the cut, very close to being the cut. I'd still get him in the team on the basis of his captaincy. But the only problem in this situation
is
not in Test cricket also.
It's a ground rule. The reason Rohit Sharma is sitting out today is because he doesn't make the 11.
Yeah,
if captaincy is the case, then he should have played. No, I cannot make anyone who's close or think. Yeah. See, when you start doing this, that's where the mess is. When your captain, first make your 11, then you pick your captain.
But also, why I would also not want to do that is because you're in the transition mode already. You have to
continue with Jasprit Bumrah.
Yeah, exactly. Continue with Jasprit Bumrah.
Virat Kohli basically falls under the category of that corporate employee who continues to make one mistake over and over again, but his boss cannot really let him go because you don't really have an option ready. It's as simple as that.
No,
And
boss will
that's-
have to let him go if that happens for a longer
It hasn't
time.
really. Once again, he was out in the similar fashion.
I
Once
agree.
again.
I agree, and we'll discuss that at length. But
Yeah.
at the moment, runs are not coming, and I can't, have him back as captain as well, because I'm not moving forward. If I'm trying to move forward from Rohit Sharma's situation, I can't land myself in a similar situation.
Then
I need
why
to
is
move
he
forward.
a lot more vocal when Jasprit Bumrah is the captain? You saw the Perth test also. He was definitely, talking to bowlers a lot. I'm not saying that, it did not
That's
really
okay.
happen under Rohit Sharma's captaincy,
okay.
but it is happening.
He's
I don't
trying
think
to
that-
fix things in Indian cricket.
So
You're calling him Mr. Fix-It.
No, I'm just saying he's trying to fix things in Indian cricket.
No, whether he is more vocal under one captain or not, that in no way tells me that he should be made captain or not
No,
captain.
I'm not saying that.
Get
I'm
run.
just saying that, I'm just saying what my eyes saw. It's as simple as that. I'm not trying to
So you're
read
saying
more
he's
in
far
between the
more
lines.
comfortable under Jasprit Bumrah's captain.
Absolutely.
So if that is the case, then he doesn't need to aspire for captaincy. Then Jasprit Bumrah will be captain. He can play. Anyway,
Give
what
me the
does,
stand-in captain, vice
the
captain.
question I asked: what do you think the future holds for Rohit Sharma?
I
He's
think
not
that
done.
this is it for Rohit Sharma in Test cricket.
He's played his last Test match.
Absolutely.
Is he going to be announcing his retirement? Then why did he not do it? On the
I think it's basically going to happen after the Sydney Test, or maybe a few days after the Sydney Test. Because any which ways, as soon as the Sydney Test finishes, the focus, I think, should be more on India announcing their Champions Trophy squad, which they basically have to do by January 12th, rather than on the fact that, who is basically calling it quits or who is continuing their Test career.
I was just one test match away from getting my prediction right. I said 10 test matches when the cycle started. It ended in 9 itself. So just a little off the mark.
So why hasn't he announced it then?
I don't think he's going to announce it. I think once the England squad comes, I think it's going to be somewhere about that, the England Test Series squad, when he's going to announce that retirement. Because as soon as he announces retirement officially, I think there's going to be a lot of chaos. You have to announce a Champions Trophy squad in very less time. Test cricket, though, I think it's done and dusted. Either way, if he would have played, scored a centton here or there, I think still he would have sort of left Test cricket going into the England series. All I hope is that this doesn't rub off in other formats, other as in white ball cricket, in ODI cricket, because again, at the end of the day, however much we say that we should not be mixing format, but they are also humans and just one human being who here would have gone through some emotions. And I can't believe that when he would be in that meeting, he would not be having that anywhere in the back of their head, because it's the same person, same personality. It's not like he's a different person for Test cricket, different for ODI cricket. So that's all I would want. That's the best case scenario. But I don't think that's going to be the case.
I want to ask you one thing, that why is it difficult for a cricket board to use the word dropped in case of a player?
Indian
Why is
board.
it so difficult?
I don't know. It's just the culture. It's our Indian cricket culture. For this case, it's definitely dropped. I
Yeah,
repeat,
he is.
He opted out himself, but he opted to drop himself, is what I'm saying. And of course, there are other decision makers that backed him. About his future, I think because this has come. See, this is the latest development. I don't think he planned it that way. He must have planned to have played, and then because you were making the 11, thought that it was best. So I don't think he wanted to do something that Ashwin did, just announce it in the middle. Maybe he'll go back, take time, then think about his future. Also, somewhere in the back of his mind could harbor ambitions, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, what if India do qualify for the WTC final? Who knows that, in the middle after that, even though there's not much red ball cricket, but if he shows form in white ball, we know sometime, you get picked based on that as well. If he has a good Champions Trophy, WTC final, you'd want him to captain. So I think he's keeping that option open. And anyway, there's no hurry. If he thinks all of this is not going his way, India doesn't qualify for WTC as well, I think that's when he will take a call. Also might want to have a conversation with his family, come back home with his friends, and then take a call. So I think it'll all depend on how that really pans out.
I think a final decision will probably be taken during the IPL. Champions Trophy finishes, there's going to be, I think, 4 days after the Champions Trophy finishes, the IPL begins, I think, on March 14th. And maybe by that time, you'll know whether Rohit would want to continue his white ball career or not, depending upon how India and he,
White ball also,
does.
you're saying?
I think so. I think he might just take a collective decision.
I don't agree. I think white ball, also don't think that they're going to, mix the formats. I think white ball he'll play, and a lot will depend on the Champions Trophy. He's definitely going to captain the team in Champions Trophy, and as a white ball batter, he's been showing good form as well. T20 World Cup, previous to that, the 50 over World Cup, and I think he still has a lot to give there. I know he has ambitions to play 2027 World Cup. I don't know whether he reaches that far or not. Still some time, but Champions Trophy he's going to play, and then you take it from there.
Okay.
You let us know what you think on this entire saga. Give us a like if you're enjoying our content. It means a lot to us. Share it with other cricket-loving friends who are trying to gain some insight into this burning issue in Indian cricket. And yeah, do leave us a comment as to what you think about this entire Rohit Sharma fiasco. If you want to comment on him, or you want to comment on Shashwat's favorite topic about Fix It, whatever you want to comment, do let us know. Take care. Bye-bye. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today if you haven't already. From Shashwat, Siddharth and I, bye-bye.